up, everybody? It's your girl, Lillie of Motivational Brown Gyrlz, and pretty much we are closing out 2017. I know you guys cannot believe that we're almost out, but we are. And so MBG has a lot going on in 2018, but definitely later on in this show, we want to bring you some of the things that we're grateful for in 2017 and what we're pushing for in 2018. But one of the major things that we have to emphasize is that MBG was implemented and developed to make sure that we were providing information and education, inspiring and motivating individuals to become agents of change, particularly focusing on restoring the honor and humility of African-American males. And so we are honored this evening to have an individual in the building that is definitely the epitome of what we hope and aspire that our young men growing up and grown men, because, you know, you got some grown boys, making sure that these guys follow in somebody's footsteps and they have somebody to look up to, but not even look up to, because there are some people that need somebody to look across at and learn from. And so this evening we have an individual, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, but I will say this. This individual is an entrepreneur. This individual is an athlete. And this individual is a single father. And if you know anything about MBG, you know that is something that we hold in great esteem. So, Mr. Emery Sammons, Jr., welcome to the platform.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It is my pleasure to be aboard.
So, just, you know, start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know, where you're from, what school you went to, and stuff like that, just so we can kind of get familiar with you and things of that nature. And then we're going to dive right in.
All right. Well, first things first, I just want to thank you for having me on your show. It is, you know, definitely an honor to be a part of something that is definitely big, and I see lots of potential for future endeavors, you know, and this is definitely, you know, a lot of things that I like involving myself in and being a part of, and let alone, you know, mentoring and getting an opportunity to motivate, which has been a big thing for me, which is motivate. And if you know anything about me, if anybody knows anything about me, which you're about to find out very fast, you will know that anything I ever post when it comes to social media, just in general, I always end everything with hashtag be great, because that's just the biggest thing that I try to live my life off of, is being great and never settling for what is just good.
Wow, be great. So, that's major. That's major. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you. So introducing myself, my name is Emery Sammons, Jr. I am a Philadelphia native. I born and raised. I actually spent my high school years at Willingboro High School in New Jersey. I was a transfer from William Penn here in Philadelphia for my freshman year. And one of my main reasons was so I could play football and get a better education, because the education program there was immaculate. Also, I went to Norfolk. I continued my career at Norfolk State University, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in architectural drafting and design and building construction, with the, you know, God-given talent of football, which gave me the opportunity to go through school with a full scholarship for football. I actually started off with a half scholarship in track and then ended up as a full scholarship in football.
Wow.
And thereafter, graduated college. I continued, was blessed to have an opportunity to get picked up by the Philadelphia Eagles. Was in training camp with them 2008, and after that, wound up continuing my career in arena football, and I put in 8 years of that. And now I'm a business owner. I do home remodeling and renovations, and I also flip houses with my brothers. And it's something that I've always had a passion for outside of playing football. So that's kind of pretty much everything in a nutshell right there, just to give you a little taste.
Wow. Okay, so all right, let's back up. First you said be great. Your motto is be great, and it seems like the decisions that you've made from a young man to a more mature, seasoned young man have been driven by that statement, be great.
Yes.
Number two, what I'm hearing you saying is that education was ultimately important to you. You had a talent, but you knew that you needed a quality education in order to really be able to get the financial stability that you needed to be able to play sports in college, pay for college, and start your life anew.
Yes. Yes,
and then
indeed.
finally, even as an adult, post-college, you still emphasize, okay, I got to be great. I got to be greater than great. So you did the NFL thing, you've done arena ball, and now you're an entrepreneur. And that's great. That's great. But before we talk about your brand, because you are a brand, your business and your industry, I think you missed one of the major components of why you are rocking with MBG. Guys, once again, this is Sipping Tea with MBG, and we want to highlight and we want you guys to know that we absolutely love and adore the essence of our African-American males, and we uplift them. And one of the major things that I definitely want to highlight is that you are a single father.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so is that a boy or a girl?
I have a little girl who's 2 years of age, going on 25.
So that's a serious situation. So can you speak a little bit about what it's like raising a little girl who I know adores you?
Oh, man. First things first, I am blessed to have the most, beautiful, most funniest, most intelligent young lady ever. I mean, that a daughter or father could ask for. I mean, she's my world. I get emotional just even talking about her, how much I love my daughter, because, she's definitely one of the main reasons. She's 2 years old, by the way. She's one of the main reasons I push so hard to continue to be great, because I have to be the example to her, even though she is a female, and, of course, a lot of females, they look to their mother for a lot of guidance, in a female's perspective. But, that love from a father is totally separated, from a mother and a father, So being a father to a little girl is definitely very, very challenging. It's very challenging. It's very, overprotecting. It's very, it keeps you on your toes, like at 24/7, no question. I show a lot of my concern when it comes to my daughter, and I try to spend as much time with my child as possible, even being a business owner. And I try to do everything I can to get time with her, so because I want her to know that, I want her to know the example of what a man should be like in her life, and what to never just settle, which is where it goes right back to the being great statement. Never settle for, and never settle for anything less than what you have to offer. That's the first thing. But never settle for what is just good for you. You know what I mean? You always want to settle for what is great. This is why I always stress that, because I want to do nothing but express greatness in front of her face so that she can see it firsthand. Because the first man that your daughter, and this goes to any father, the first man that your daughter should ever fall in love with is her father. You know what I mean? It is her father. So that means everything in a nutshell, because you never know when anything goes wrong, anything's terrible. You don't want your daughter finding herself going to some man out in the street, or just going to some random guy trying to find a way, when she has a father right here in front of her face that can handle any matter for her, whether it's good or bad, long as she knows that he's always there. And that's pretty much what it is being a father to a little girl. And I love every
Emery, that's major. That's major. And the thing is, I think that our young ladies take for granted that everything isn't going to last forever. And I think what needs to happen is somewhere along the way, when you're a young lady or when you're a young man, mothers and fathers need to have conversations with their children about, number one, what love really is. Now, the issue with that is if you've never seen love or if you didn't have love in your house from your, like you said, if a girl never had the love of a father, she's going to associate with love with whatever she can find to, that she thinks love is, and vice versa. So you hit a lot of high points, and that's major. We can't give it all to them because we definitely, in 2018, are going to definitely bring you back, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's major. But I think it's important that, guys, if you're out there listening and you're a single father, you need to understand that you need to live a life before your daughters and sons, but particularly your daughters, such that they see a man who is respectable, who is a provider, and also who loves them. Because love looks like a lot of things. A lot of people associate love with money. A lot of people associate love with sex. And while those things may come into play, the reality is that love is an act. Love can be a noun, a verb, an adjective. Love is major, and you have to understand what it is. So, Emery, that's awesome. One of the major things that I also would love for you to expand upon is your business, because you said flipping houses, and so it's a lot of reality TV going on. So can you explain, number one, what flipping houses is, but also you said you do it with your brothers, and if anybody knows anything about Lillie Mae, when we're talking about sipping tea with MBG, Lillie Mae love her family. I don't care how crazy we are. I love my family. I'm pro-family. So when you said you're doing this with your brothers, I'm like, wait a minute. Tell us about that.
Yes, one thing I can tell you about that is it's like, who else can you trust other than family? I mean, sometimes it's, now don't get me wrong. Not everybody has a tight-knit family. Not everybody. Now, I come from a very big one. I have six boys, so I have 5 brothers, and I have 2 older sisters. And we're a pretty big family. We're all very, very close. We all were athletes. We all had no other choice but to be close. So even to this day, when it comes to the Eagles games or football games, we all get together at my mother's house and we go watch the game together. Like that's just how close we are. We call each other right away. We calling each other on 3 ways while we're at work and things like that. We stay very close because, I'm telling you.
So the brothers should have been here then. So the brothers need to be here because, see, what I think is, I'm trying to figure out, I think the brothers might be able to put the humor with this thing, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. That's
like a time bomb.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? But one thing about it, we definitely, African-American males, minority males, we are mutually inclusive. We try to make sure that we cover a myriad of individuals. So I'm thinking, with the way things are going, we're going to have an opportunity to definitely have the brothers, because I think that would be awesome to really hear each individual story about how they contribute to the business. But what is flipping houses? How do you flip a house?
Okay, so flipping a house is pretty much understanding your surroundings, understanding where you live, understanding the market at hand, and paying attention to whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. When I say a buyer's market, it's a market where housing is pretty much there's a lot of people trying to get rid of their homes at a very all-time low price. And, and you want to try to jump in and get those houses to maximize your profit as much as possible when flipping a house. So in other words, when you get in a house, you're looking for a house, you're in search of one in a good area, that's not bad enough to where it's, it won't take much to put into it, in other words, trying to fix it up to get it as nice as possible in order for you to turn around and sell it at a much better price to find out what your profit margin is. So to give a quick example, say if I found a house for, I found a house for $35,000. I'm just giving you a quick example. $35,000 house, and in that area, a home that home, if fixed up, you can turn around and resell it after fixed for $160,000 to $170,000. So when you're buying a house for $35,000, and then you're putting in $25,000, maybe $30,000, you're putting in, let's see, a rough estimate about $60,000, $65,000, and you turn around and sell it for $160,000, $170,000. You just made yourself a quick $95,000 to $100,000 profit. So that is pretty much what we do. We find homes, we fix them, and the best part about me having so many brothers, we all have a different trade that we're good at, and it's crazy because we all learn the same thing. The only thing is, each and every last one of us developed a better love for doing this or doing that, or like I'm good at doing plumbing, and I'm really the one that's good at doing every single thing. But
I know, they be hating. I don't know why. The siblings be hating when you just a jack of all trades. They be hating.
Oh yeah, they be talking trash about me all the time. But I'm mainly the one who was always hands-on growing up as a kid, and my brothers and all of them learned from me. So which I learned from my father, my grandfathers, both of them, because both my grandfather was a famous architect here in Philadelphia. That's my papa. It's my mother's father, and my grandfather, my dad's father. He was in the Army, but he worked for Bud and Boeing. Bud and Boeing was a very popular factory here in Philadelphia that actually designed. It was an engineering company. They actually designed like helicopter parts and machine parts and things like that. And my grandfather was an engineer. He was very good with his hands and stuff. So to pick up that niche from them, and me being old enough to know them as well as I did and learned a lot from them, it paid off a great deal. And, my father, he actually owns over 13 properties himself, and we learned a lot from working with him since I was 7 years old. So, but I was always the one who just loved taking it apart, putting it back together. Like I loved doing that stuff. That was back when TV was at a minimal, and kids was actually going outside. Yes, you were very creative. You had no other choice but to be creative when you was a kid. Now, you got electronics that's being creative for you. All you got to do is just push a button, as opposed to actually engineering it and figuring it out, learning why it works this way, things like that. And so that's the difference between, I'll say our generation and the new generation these days. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell how it works with flipping houses.
Okay, so a couple of things, and we're not gonna be too much longer. We're gonna try to wrap it up because we got so much, man. The crazy thing is, as we're communicating, my CIO Adam, the editor, just stepped in the building, but he liked to sit back and observe before he jump in. So he hopefully he gonna hit the mic soon. But Emery, what I'm hearing from you is that, number one, I went to college, but I knew I had to generate my own wealth. I knew I had to make my legacy so great that I don't need to work for a company that offers a 401k because I'm looking for wealth and not riches. That's what I heard from you through discussing your partnership with your brothers. Because what people don't understand is wealth is developed within families, like Rockefeller, Bill Gates. Yes, that family is wealthy. And wealth is left for children, and that's something you don't find in the African-American community. And so I salute you for that. That is major.
Thank you.
I want to shift gears, and I don't want to talk about your motivations. I want you to talk a little bit about the obstacles and challenges that you faced along the way. Because I think what happens is when we're talking and we're on social media, we paint this picture like life is so perfect, but not many people talk about the struggles.
Right. And that's amazing because I actually do. I mean, because I want people to understand, well, God didn't make none of us perfect. And I don't mean to get religious because I know a lot of people
Bring it.
But I'm going to tell you, it's God made no one to be perfect. And so because of that aspect, if you do things, that's why I go off of that term, be great, because, I was told one time about, my coach in college. He actually just stopped me one day, and he was just like, man, he was like, why do you do the things that you do, man? And I was like, what do you mean, coach? He's just like, he said to me, he said, man, before practice, you always run into the practice field from the locker room. And he said, as soon as practice is over with, you run right back to the locker room. And I said, he said, what, do you be in a rush? Or I said, no, coach, because one thing I know is that while I'm doing this, I'm watching all my teammates, walking to practice, because to me that doesn't build my energy, get myself prepared for practice. That me running to practice, that's letting me know that that's getting myself prepared for practice, for one. For two, I know that my opponent is not doing this. So if my opponent's not doing this, that means that I'm doing something greater than he is. So as long as I'm doing something greater than he is, that means that I'm going to greatly outperform him when it comes game time. So, so Coach tried to throw me a loop one day, and he said, so what do you think makes a good practice? I said, perfect practice. I said, practice makes perfect. He said, nah. He said, perfect practice makes perfect. And that threw me off. I'm like, what do you mean perfect practice? He said, as long as you try to practice, nobody's perfect, but as long as you practice, as long as you try to perfectly practice being perfect, you will do nothing but have nothing but high expectations of your performance when you go out there on the field. So, because just like they say, how you perform in practice is how you're going to play in the game. So why not outperform myself in practice? That way I can fully outperform the way I play when it comes game time. So that's all. That was just one of my philosophies of trying to do what I got to do to stand out when it came to me being out on the football field and stuff like that. So, I always try to do the greater things, to make it work. And so, for me to not venture off a little bit, but
No. You're right on point. You're right on point, because what I'm ultimately hearing you saying is there's no room for mediocrity. You have to make sure that. Well, actually, you said a couple of things. One of the interesting things is that you said something about your opponent, and what you're saying about your opponents aren't doing this, and the reason you know that is because you've studied your opponent so that you can prepare yourself for what is to come. And Emery, that's a major lesson that we have to teach the kids coming behind us, because so many people are bullying because people are different from them. It's almost like they're bullying their opponents because they don't understand them, instead of studying their opponents to understand what the differences are and trying to build themselves up or connecting in order so we all can be great. And it seems to me that's what you and your brothers were taught as children, to come together and be great because you're talented and you have something that a whole lot of people wish they had. But until you connect with people and bond with people in love, it'll never happen.
Yes, that's very true. Very true.
Yo, guys, y'all are listening to Sip and Tea with MBG. This thing is getting hot and heavy, and the crazy thing is this is the last weekend before we go into a new year, and we had to bring something hot for you. And I don't want to take up too much more time because we got a heap of other things to do. But Emery, one of the things that I would really like for you to do is, if you could give our listeners, male and female, one just nugget to carry them through life And you already gave them be great. But what is something else that you feel strongly in your heart that our young people, and that includes us, because, look, I'm holding on. I said I'm 32. I'm holding on. I'm holding on to you. to carry, you know, all of us through. What would that be?
Man, I'm going to just say a couple things in a nutshell. I'm just going to say, one, love yourself. That's very important. You got to love yourself first before you can even find yourself wanting to love somebody else or love the people that surround you. And that because when you love yourself, you'd be surprised how that energy brings itself naturally towards your direction. Like I said, never settle for what's good. You know what I mean? Because there's always room to do better, or it's always room to, you know, achieve more. You know what I mean? And when you settle for when you settle for average, you'll never know what it is to be great. So continue to push yourself and think about that as you go through life and as you wake up every morning. Another thing is smile. You know, no matter how bad your day, your night, your mornings are, or how life is, always remember to smile, because I'm telling you, it doesn't. It like someone told me one time, like, man, every time I see you always smiling. I said, because I don't. What other reason do I need to be sad? You know, I'm just thankful that God gave me another day to wake up, to be able to take another breath, to be able to see people, to be able to do something better in my community per day, and to be able to do something to make somebody else's day, or do something to make my day more productive, or do something to make my daughter feel like a better, you know, feel that I love my father that much more, you know what I mean, this day, and I wonder what my dad has for me tomorrow. You know, always continue to always remember to smile, because you never know, man. You could be just sitting there walking down the street, and you'll see somebody just down, and then, you know, that person, not the fact that you see them, that person could be down, but because they see you smiling, they just sitting there like, man, I wonder why that person is smiling like that, or, man, like, I wish I was smiling like that. Man, you know what? That might just, you know what, let me go ahead and smile, man, because, look, that person having a good day, I need to find a way to make my day look like his too. You know what I mean? You never know. You'd be surprised. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is this. Never go through life thinking that nobody is paying attention to you. You know what I mean? Because there's always eyes on you, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. There's always eyes on you. So my biggest thing is always try to be the example, no matter who you are, no matter how you think about life. Always try to be the example, because you never know who was paying attention. I never thought about that. All I did when I was playing football and the Eagles gave me that call and told me they wanted me, I didn't even expect it. I didn't even feel like I did good enough my last season at Norfolk State. And here I'm getting phone calls, you know, and then got a phone call from my hometown NFL team, my dream team, the team I've always dreamed of playing for. I never, ever thought that I would get that phone call. You want to know why? Because all I was doing was just Emery. I was doing Emery. I was out there doing what I felt was going to make me practice better, or make other guys rally behind me and wanting to be better. You know, because if they see that, they're going to want to perform just as good, if not better, than me. You know, and if you have your whole team doing that, now you got a successful team. You know, so you never know who's watching you, because, you know, I sure enough didn't think they were. And here I found out that they were there for a whole week watching me practice. And they told me from their own mouth, I never seen nobody practice like you in years. It's like you literally pay nobody any attention. You just do what you're supposed to do, plus some. And then you continue on going. While everybody's exhausted and dead, you run into practice, practice harder than everybody, and then you turn around and you running back to the locker room, which is freaking. I know you remember Norfolk State. The practice field was a pretty long way from the locker room.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna hit it. I'll hit it when I close out. I wanted you to tell your story. I wanted you to tell everybody who Emery is, but I will say this. What I know is that you were the same person then as you are now. Yes. You've always been positive, which is a plus, because in a world where people place great emphasis on titles, fame, and fortune, I don't ever remember hearing you say, I want to go to the NFL. I don't remember hearing that.
Nope.
But you let your light so shine so that, guess what, the NFL wanted you. And see, that's major. That's major. Guys, you just heard from Mr. Emery Sammons, Jr. You know I had to say it like that because that's how they used to say it over the loudspeaker.
Yes,
and this individual has grown from selecting where he wanted to have his secondary education to selecting his post-secondary education and being surprised from a partial to a full, to going into the NFL, to now being a entrepreneur and an awesome single dad of a 2-year-old little girl who he adores and she adores him too. Listen, guys, this is what we need you to know. You know, MBG listens and then we speak, but you need to understand the mission. MBG's mission is to first educate and then inform individuals to act in decency and in order when practicing acts of community organizing. If this gentleman and his brothers aren't community organizing through the flipping of houses, because what's happening is, in Philadelphia, shout out to my cousins on Wendell Avenue, in Philadelphia, there's a lot going on. In different areas of Philly, depending where you are, there's a lot going on. But what these guys are doing is they're showing you that being an African-American male in the 21st century does not mean that you're locked up. It does not mean that you're a deadbeat dad. It does not mean that you're going to get shot down in the street, because you have to set yourself apart. And one thing that is awesome that you said was smile. We got to start smiling more. We walking around with our heads down. We walking around all frowned up, and people are afraid. But that's one thing I know is true. You smile, and you're proud of who you are. Emery, we salute you. Thank you so much, and we definitely look forward to having you on at least monthly in 2018 to provide us with fruit for fathers. So once again, we thank you. Guys, I'm your girl, Lillie Mae. Adam, the editor, is in the building, but as always, he's chilling, taking a back seat. Amber J is not in the building. And Twan, the confidential informant, he is out in the streets doing their grassroots organizing as always. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the last episode of Sip It Tea with MBG. I'm Antoine, a confidential informant. MBG is getting ready to tell you about our 2017 and what we're looking for into 2018. Lillie, can you talk to the people?
Oh man, Antoine, wow, this year's been crazy. 2017 has definitely been challenging for me, and one thing about it, you know, we try to practice transparency, and so I'm going to be as transparent as possible when I talk about 2017. My 2017 has some very high highs. I got the position I wanted at work. I love teaching social studies. It's awesome. I definitely embarked upon this whole modeling venture, which has been very, very interesting. And, I've had high highs and low lows with that. But the biggest thing in 2017 is that I really found myself again. And when I say that, I found my brand. I got to rebrand Lillie Mae and really get in touch with who I am and understanding that I am who I am and accepting that people are who they are. And when you figure that out, you go with it. You just roll with it. You can't change anybody. You can only try to be a guide and a director, so to speak. So 2017 has definitely been a year of growth, a year of transformation, and a year of challenges. You know, most people know, my mom has been really, really sick towards the end of the year. And that's been challenging, but it's also been a growth opportunity because it taught me how to balance family, work, and everything else. And the other thing is prioritization. Being able to prioritize is major. I'm a doer. I want to do. It needs to be done. It needs to be done well. So I'm a person that's big on being efficient and effective. And so that's something else. I noticed that my efficiency has grown tremendously. And so in 2018, Antoine, for real, I'm just looking for bigger and better. Rolling out, my personal brand. And I shouldn't say rolling it out because my brand has been around for a long time. It's not something that I just developed. But what happened is something that I put on the back burner and put everybody else in their development in front of my own. But I said no more. In 2018, this is the year that I will continue to rebrand, continue to develop people, and that way they can start to develop their own brands. And only those that are willing. Only those that are willing. Everybody isn't willing to be nurtured and mentored, and everybody doesn't want to change. Some people are complacent. So that's the other thing. In 2018, I'm not going to try to help anybody change. I'm going to assist and provide tools, but that hands-on support, I can't do it anymore. It's tiring. You know what I mean?
Right, I understand.
So, yeah, that's basically it. I'm just thankful. I thank God that I didn't have any, major health issues in 2017, and that it's been a good year. Overall, it's been a good year. Like I said, high highs, low lows, but overall, it's been a good year. So watch out for Lillie Mae, watch out for Sanaj, and definitely watch out for MBG in 2018. What about you, Twan?
Yeah, absolutely, Lillie. I thank you for noticing me this year. I think you were one of my bright spots this year. I was at a point where I was dropping good music, but I felt like I could be doing more. And then Lillie, you found me, and then you brought me on board, and you put me in a field that most people would want to be in at this point with years of schooling and things of that nature. And I thank you for putting me in a position to be a highlight of my year going into 2018 so I can make sure that MBG, really grows into fruition, and I can help put my 2 cents in, to bring the brand into a bigger brand, to also help with my brand in the future, because I'm all about, helping one person when you need some help. So I don't really sit down and complain. That's one thing I learned this year, too. I don't really sit down and complain when I feel like I'm at a down point, or I feel like I don't have nowhere to go to, or I feel like I don't have any motion. I look around and see who else I can help, because at the end of the day, that's going to help me as well. So that's a couple of things that I learned as far as, just sticking out a hand to help the next person when you know that you're down. It's no point of being down to try to bring the next person down. That's one big thing that I learned this year. Another thing that I learned, I was putting my money into, the wrong places. And I thought that, I make a lot of money, then I pay for all these different things, and boom, I'm good. But that's not really it. You still got to be able to connect with the people. So I was complaining about not having enough money when really I should have been saving a lot of my money and putting it into other things to watch other things just sit back and grow rather than just spending it when I get it. So that's another thing that I learned this year as well. If I had to say one other thing, also I have realized that you really have to pick and choose. And I'm not really speaking to everybody. I'm talking to the people that are looking to expand their brands and really go other places in life outside of the working a 9-to-5. If you're happy working a 9-to-5, then I'm not really speaking with you, and I don't have no shade to that. I'm just saying that we just can't relate if you want to stay in that position. What I'm saying is this: it's just you have to learn that you have to separate your friendship from your business with a lot of people, because you can be great friends with somebody. Just because y'all great friends, that don't mean that y'all can build something together. and y'all still can be cool. You can still help each other out on other ventures, but when it comes to the big business stuff that you take more seriously than they do, you guys might not see eye to eye, and that's okay. You guys still can be friends, but at the end of the day, it's no point in hurting your business and hurting you going forward if you guys are not cohesive together. So I would say stop wasting your energy on that, especially if you're a couple years into your business now and you're noticing that it's not any growth, then maybe you need to go and look at some changes. So I definitely advise in that too as well. That's something I learned this year, just knowing how to separate friendship and business decisions.
Wow, that's crazy. You sound like my mom. My mom be like, why you keep beating dead horses? You know, that's crazy. You know what, Twan? I think 2017 was a year of struggle. I think that 2017 is a year that everybody, because look at everything that has happened in 2017. And you know what? You know I'm going to go there just because everybody else went there when Barack Obama was president. I'm going to blame it all on Donald Trump. I think he's crazy and everybody just want to be crazy like him. And the other thing is, like, you know, we spend a lot of time wanting to belong. And I think what I learned in 2017 is that don't just want to belong. You should want to be. Be somebody. Be something. And the reality is that, you know, the cliche is everybody is somebody, but that's not the case. And the reason I say that is because unless you feel like you're somebody, you're nobody to you. You know what I mean? And that will cause you to do a lot of unethical, just mean things. 2017 definitely showed me that. 2017 also showed me that I have to put myself first. I got to start putting myself first.
Yeah, it comes to a point where you help so many other people that, you know, you just have to take a step back and say, well, you know, what have I done for myself? I'm really starting to I know you shouldn't count your blessings, but in this day and age, especially when you're trying to get things done, it's good to, like, at least count that, make sure that you know in the back of your mind, you know, I'm still helping people along the way. It's good to take a step back and just say, you know, I need to help myself.
Yeah. And you know, it's been major. And so one thing I will say to you out there listening, if you're making resolutions, it's all good. But I say just make lifestyle changes. You know, just like dieting. A diet is temporary. A lifestyle change is forever. A diet is temporary. A lifestyle change is forever. And so that's where I am. I'm tired of dieting. You know, I'm tired of helping people diet. I'm at a point where in 2018, if you can't make lifestyle changes, then you can diet by your damn self.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's crazy though. But you know, I think that MBG is definitely a platform where there's so much room for opportunity, and there's room to bring so many brilliant minds aboard. And I think that's what 2018 is going to be. 2018 is going to be a year of expansion. 2018 is going to be a year for people to be able to say, hey, I like your style. Can you help me do this? And we can develop other people. Adam, what has 2017 been to you, and what do you foresee in 2018?
Oh, boy.
Well, first of all, you came aboard MBG in 2017. Whoop, whoop, turnover.
2017. Oh, boy. I think it's definitely been kind of a year of self-reflection for me personally. So, yeah, I guess 2018, I don't know. I guess I'm looking to just kind of take that self-reflection and try to grow from it.
Well, Adam, tell us a little bit about how the self-reflection took place, because everybody always talking about self-reflect, self-assess, self-evaluate. But what does your process look like?
Really just, kind of taking a step back, looking at where I am now, where I want to be, where I'm, I feel like I'm going, and then kind of, just kind of assessing that, see what I can change, see what I can, bring to the table, or what I need to step away from.
Okay. So, from what you gathered in 2017, you think you're going to rock it out in 2018?
Oh, yeah.
You think so? You sure? Because, Adam, you be trying to hide. Twan, what you think? In 2018, you know what I want to see, Twan, from Adam in 2018?
What's that?
I want Adam to come out their shell. What you think?
Yeah,
because I feel like he got a wealth of information and knowledge that's just bursting to get out, but he be trying to fake.
Adam got a lot of talents, man. He a time bomb.
Oh, Adam, the time bomb editor. Yes. So, Adam, let me ask you this: 2018, though. 2018. What do you want? Like, what are you hungry for in 2018?
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's kind of a tough one, honestly.
Because, I mean, you had time to self-reflect. Mm-hmm. So you know what those high points are. So with that self-reflection, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think you're going to do? Okay, what are you going to do differently in 2018?
Differently? I definitely working on, like you said, trying to come on my show, which I think I feel like I've done a lot of.
And you have, and you definitely have. From the beginning to now. Oh yes, because when you get fired up, you get fired up.
Oh yeah, just kind of taking, I guess, in a sense, kind of taking control. Like, I'll be the first to admit, like, for a long time, it was just kind of, there were things that I just kind of rolled with. I stayed content in just whatever mess was going on, you know what I mean? And so I'm just kind of looking forward to trying to, take control of the direction and where I want to go,
That's very true, man, because, it's a lot of people that want you to do a lot of things. They see you potential in a lot of things, but, we already see that potential, and it might become boring to us, and we like, that's a little easy. I don't really want to go that route. I know I can do that. I want to do something that I know other people can't do. I don't know why, but that's just me. I want something challenging. Other people not going to understand that. So I understand, man. I get you.
Wow. Guys, you listening to Sipping Tea with MBG. This is our last episode of 2017. And as you can see, Amber J is not in the building, but I'm pretty sure she'll be the one taking us out of 2017 and propelling us into 2018. Wow. I'm just glad I can rock it out with y'all, guys. I'm glad we could rock it out. Antoine, you've come aboard and you have been wow. You've been wild. You've been radical. You are somebody that's very, very interesting. You definitely live by the motto, I'm sorry, it's not personal, it's business. And I rock with that. That's something that I'm learning from you. That's something that I plan to embrace more in 2018. I built a lot of relationships, and it's time for me to expand upon those and do something for Lillie Mae for a change. So, Adam, you my brother. You my brother. if anybody would have told me that meeting you on a cruise ship October 31st, 2016, that a year later we would still be rocking and you would be on the Motivational Brown Gyrlz platform, I would have never believed it. Would you?
Nope, not at all. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it there.
So what it is, I salute you. Antoine, I salute you. And, guys, once again, this is Sipping Tea with MBG. This is our final episode of 2017. Please, please, please rock with us in 2018. Sipping Tea with MBG is coming to a digital radio station near you, and we have so many other things to unveil. But we're going to take a quick break, and Amber J will come back, and she will propel us into 2018.
Motivational Brown Gyrlz, coming back to you once again. I'm in the building, just getting ready to give you all my review of 2017 and look what I'm looking for 2018 in regards to myself, MBG, the world, the future, and all that great stuff. 2017 for me has been a roller coaster. This MBG thing took off in 2016. We've been all over the place in 2017 and have seen some really good things. We've learned a lot, and it's actually prepared us for 2018 for when we take over, which I feel like we are going to take over and do some great things. We realized in 2017 that Motivational Brown Gyrlz is a must and it's a need for the community, for the world. A lot of people are uneducated, don't know what's going on, and we feel like that's pretty much our job, to educate the people, to get them prepared for the future, not only for themselves, but for the community, for their families, for their loved ones, siblings, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's a good starting point for us, just getting people prepared for what's to come and not be blindsided, so to speak. And, we can't force everybody to learn or to know everything, but planting that seed and watering that seed is what we're here to do. So I'm very proud of what Motivational Brown Gyrlz has done within the last year. Since this thing has taken flight, we've interviewed great celebrities, local and afar, and look forward to doing more. People behind the scenes that, we don't really put out there have been supporting us since day one, and we are greatly appreciative of that. And we've come across some folk that thought that was for us, ain't really for us, but again, everything's a learning experience that we can take in 2018. And for 2018, like I said, I'm seeing MBG doing great things. We're going to do more for the community. We're going to be more present, because a lot of people just talk for like a month, be out for like a month, and then you don't see them anymore. But not only with MBG, you're going to hear us talk, you're going to see us, and we're going to do. That's us. That's how we work, we operate, we act, we do action. That's our thing. So 2018, we're going to do what our foundation was set on going. We're going to represent and uphold our African-American men, show them much love, because it's needed and it's lacking in our community, and praising our young boys because they're going through enough as it is, trying to graduate, the environment they're living in, and also for our young girls, because it's both ways. It's hard. It was hard for me growing up, and you're dealing with, as some adults would say, teenager stuff, but it really isn't teenager stuff per se, like minute. It's something huge, bullying, you have people taking drugs, you have people bringing in drugs. your stuff at home that you're dealing with, your stuff in your neighborhood, and all you're trying to do is just graduate and just have a successful future. So we're here for all of that. You were even here for the parents, for the adults to say, hey, get it together. It ain't about you. It's about the people in front of you. It's about the people around you. Get out your selfishness. Stop being about self. So that's what I'm seeing for 2018, just doing a whole lot for the community and for MBG to grow, collab with community leaders, things of that nature. And that's just what I'm seeing with our vision. Like, this whole year for MBG has been a learning experience, whether it's been positive or negative. It's all been a learning experience to prepare for the future. So, of course, as always, with me, being honest in everything that we do and just keeping it real and asking folks for that, the same from us, because we're not going to cut no corners. We're going to keep it real all the way, every day. So, with that being said, this is Emery J for Motivational Brown Gyrlz, and as always, MBG listens, and then we speak Happy New Year, and look out for us to take over the world. Peace out, y'all.